Welcome to this video, round 10 of the candidates tournament. This is the video for the game Aronian playing white against Topalov. Yeah, Aronian is trailing leader Vishiana now by 1 point, and it's in fact a bit more than that, as he has lost the individual encounter, so he basically needs to get 1.5 points more out of the remaining games than Vichy does, so he really should try to win games. On the other hand, Topalov is basically out of it. He's on -2 after having lost to Arnold in the round before that. So yeah, pretty much something like a free roll for Topalov. He can only win in this game, but he has no pressure really whatsoever. Well, Aronian certainly wants to do something. Let's see. Slav defense. Yeah, is this a surprise from Topalov? Yeah, well, he had played it before, of course. It's not like a revolutionary opening for him, but maybe something sharper could have been expected. Yeah, well, maybe he's also saying, okay, I'm building up a solid position, and I know the other guy needs to come after me anyway. Very often this is a good way to even play for a win, to set up a really solid position, not a very sharp position, and knowing that your opponent will come after you. Very often a good strategy that some people don't think of. Just try to win by doing not so much. Can be very effective. Let the other guy bang the head against the wall. Okay, he's playing the Chebanenko Slav, the A6 Slav. Very flexible opening for black, and an opening that I also have played numerous times. I always like that. It's a very flexible way to play. You don't commit yet what to do in the center. You can still play G6, E6, bishop out. Well, there are many possibilities, but white of course has a wide choice now. Aronian played the move E3, which is a bit of a conservative choice, but okay, well, there are many possible lines. For white, I have played G3 in this position, quite like Kromnik did in the round, what's this, round 8? Not quite sure, against Andrekin. He only got a draw out of that game, but had a pretty good position in the early part of the game. Yeah, well, E3, conservative, as it blocks in the bishop, but of course you need to think about your pawn on C4. If you, for example, play an aggressive looking move like bishop G5, black can even take immediately here, and Aronian has lost the game with that horribly against Luke McShane a while ago. Well, so E3, it's safe, but it's not passive, I'm not saying that, but it's still rather conservative. Yeah, now black has a number of moves available, and Topalov plays bishop F5, which is enjoying a pretty good reputation nowadays. It's very comparable to another line that I like to show you because it is important for this game. This line is well known for ages, and is also believed to be relatively solid for black. What we got in the game, for instance, this and this can be played here in the game. Just look at this. We get a very similar position, but pawn on A6 instead of E6. So it's pretty clear that E6 is the more useful move compared to A6. Still, it's a question if white can use it in any meaningful way. Aronian now played the move bishop D3, again, relatively conservative choice. White can try other things here that that are also very solid for black. Not going to exaggerate here, but let's say bishop E2 or bishop D2 are interesting to sort of prepare that. Try to get the bishop pair, and at least have some idea how you're going to win. Yeah, with the two bishops in this case. It's still very, very solid for black, and black does not even necessarily need to play e6. He can also play a move like h6 to secure this. Okay, bishop d3, and now Topalov just took. Yeah, probably okay. This move in the very recent book, only released like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, Israeli top grandmaster and top theoretician Boris Avrukh is also looking at this line for black, mostly from the black perspective, and he recommended bishop g6 in this book, just saying that black can keep this this tension and shouldn't exchange immediately. And he's giving a reason for his avoidance of the exchange, and we will see that exactly in the game. Yeah, this is exactly his line, and very understandable moves. Bishop b4 is simply designed to prevent e4, and this is essentially the only idea that white has in this position. Push e4 to get to make some progress in the center, keeping a space edge there. Bishop d2, castles, and rook fd1. Exactly this move, rook fd1, is the end of the paragraph in this mentioned book, where Avrukh says, and here white is slightly better. Yeah, and he explains also why black is slightly worse compared to the other position. Right here, black is faced with a tactical trick. What is the most normal move in this position for black? I'm sure you would agree that knight bd7 looks completely normal. Yeah, developing the last piece to the only square available. Unfortunately, this falls to a very typical tactical trick, and this is knight takes d5. Very useful trick to know. Get this on the board quite often in this line, in case you come to this type of position. Yeah, knight takes d5. Funny trick. Simple as that.
Check.
Just winning, of course, an important central pawn. So bishop d2 is easy. What happens if black captures here? Okay, then I'm taking b4. The bishop is not protected. That's also easy. This is in fact the tricky move. Takes. And now the important thing is that after bishop takes d2, white can take on e6. And this is the all-important point. The knight on d7 is attacked now. It's a double attack. And black will save one of the pieces, and then again has suffered. Yeah, and has lost a pawn and will suffer in this position. Yeah, this is basically Avrukh's statement. You cannot play the normal move knight bd7 and need to react somehow to this issue of the bishop. He says retreat, protect, exchange. Yeah, exchange is looking unattractive, so Topalov played a5. And this way, of course, he has simply this bishop covered. Okay, so this some information about the opening and the typical ideas. He retreated to e7, and now white pushed e4. Yeah, and this position type is certainly also what Avrukh referred to as being slightly more comfortable for white. Yes, I would agree. I mean, if anybody, white is certainly enjoying a slight plus. On the other hand, it's clear that black is not going to be in big trouble anytime soon. He's got a very solid position, and it's not so easy to see how white is going to make any progress. Rook e8, queen c2, queen b6. All this looks perfectly normal. What I'm not so sure of actually is what Aronian should do in the next couple of moves. Simply because rather quickly I think black gets a very satisfactory position. And I don't really know how to improve for white here. I can show you what he played. Played rook d3. This is also a very normal and logical looking move. It prepares a doubling on the d file in case this opens. There is rook b3. I don't really think this can be really a bad move, but it seems that after only a couple of moves, black has equalized. I can show you how it happened. Rook d3, c5. Yeah, directly attacking the center. This is in fact a very concrete way to approach things. I don't think that this would have been my absolutely first idea in the position, simply because of this d5 possibility. But it seems, after bishop f6, that black has a perfectly active position. And this does not lead to anything much for white. If we look at this, he played now, Aronian did rook 81. We can look at alternatives here. What if white takes on e6, for example? Yeah, well, black can take with the queen. And it's not apparent how he's going to be punished, let's say, for his quick opening of the center. Sometimes you cannot play those quick attacks on the center when you're in a slightly cramped position, but because you're not well enough set up for that. But here it seems perfectly alright. I mean, you can kick the queen here, but it goes to c6. And black has this very nice bishop. It shouldn't be any kind of problem. So rook d1 was played. Not yeah, it's perfectly logical, again intending to take. Black can of course not take on b2. This is very easy. Or this alternatively is also leading to trouble. Now with this attack, black will even lose
check.
Lose 2 pawns back, so he's 1 down. It's clear that black cannot take, but here he has a very good way to play. Can take. He did that. Take, rook take, and knight to evade. Yeah, and at first glance you think, okay, maybe white has a little something. And yeah, well, white has the d file nicely occupied, and those pawns, they are on dark squares with a dark squared bishop. So white maybe can in the distant future play against those pawns. But short term, black has the idea knight e6 to d4, and this is a very important resource, of course. It turns out that this seems to be perfectly fine for black. Aronian now played the move rook 1 to d2. Yeah, I don't know. Is there something else? Bishop e5, maybe a move that could have been considered. Trying to get rid of this bishop. Rook 1 to d2 also has a slight tactical problem to it. Yeah, maybe this was an interesting try. It even simplifies the position more, but yeah, but still rook d8. Yeah, there's not much happening really. Black is perfectly solid. Yeah, in the game, rook d2. Note that this is weakening the back rank. So if white should accidentally touch the knight, there's rook e1 mate. So a very important counterplay. Now knight e6, yeah, this is the point. Now Aronian played rook to d6, and after that I think it's over in terms of any kind of try for an edge. Bishop e3 is probably what needed to be played, but after rook d8, black still feels very solid. But I think he needed to do that, Aronian. After this rook move, there's queen c7, and now it's getting really forced. The bishop is attacked. You cannot go here. This loses material instantly. This exposed rook. Yeah, this is what was played. Rook e6 is not leading to anything.
Check.
Here black is very comfortable with the strong bishop. Yeah, bishop d3. Yeah, and now of course black puts the knight to d4. Yeah, and here's one of those cases. Yeah, you shouldn't touch the knight and
checkmate.
Allow the mate. So you needed to go here, nothing else. covering the back rank. Now queen e7 was played. Yeah, black has certainly equalized here, that I'm sure of. And it's even white who needs to be a bit careful. I mean, it's not rocket science to find the defense, but still you need to be cautious to not get into trouble. h3 important. Don't want to get mated. Rook d8. Yeah, and now Aronian decided to simplify matters here. Yeah, of course, Topalov took with the pawn. You want the passer. And a4. a4 is an important move, I think. It blocks this a5 pawn on a dark square, and actually gives white some distant hopes, because if you just, for example, would look at this position and just look at it without any heavy pieces, queens off and rooks off, and with that, white actually would have serious chances to do something, because he could actually get the king here and play against those pawns. So a4 is important as it fixes a pawn on a dark square, and this is good for the pure bishop endgame. h5, gaining space. Yeah, and here Topalov played a move that he probably regretted also in the press conference, I think. He played g5, very active move as usual. He's not the kind of player who who's doing nothing. And the funny thing is that he said that he overlooked White's reply, which is quite funny. It took 10 minutes and he didn't think of rook e2, which is quite quite amazing. But it sometimes happens. You don't look at the most obvious possibilities. If White would have been forced now to don't play rook e2, there only was this move, and this in fact looks a bit scary with the weak back rank. There is no tactic or anything quickly happening, but I understand that Topalov was attracted to that. But after rook e2, queen moves, bishop d2, the bishop has gone to a position where it's actually quite useful, always looking at the a5 pawn. And now black in a way has played g5, which does not really help him, but is mostly a point that white can attack. Still, black is perfectly okay here. He's just too active. Yeah, everything's very normal. And now queen f3 played by Aronian, getting the queens off. Yeah, here you could think about other moves, but really the only real hope for white is to somehow get the queens off, get the king to d3 and play this endgame. This would actually be really comfortable. So I understand very much that he played queen f3 to exchange queens. You also could have played other queen moves. Yeah, let's say here queen g4. This was also an idea. It probably forces queen takes g4. And now the question is, what is black's best setup? He can push the king up to g6 and prepare f5 to get rid of this g4 pawn. Or you can also go with d3. I think you should combine this actually. Maybe just to illustrate, this kind of line could have happened.
Check.
And now a bishop move somewhere. This is actually very similar to the game. It's just a different pawn structure. I don't really think it makes much of a difference. Black is far too active to allow white anything substantial. Queen h5 was also an idea, but this in fact is answered with a very funny move. Queen c2, that's not funny, but bishop g5, queen back is quite funny. I think just tempting white to take and then set up this this kind of pin. After f4 d3, it's black with the slightly better chances. The d pawn is very dangerous, and this is a kind of a strange configuration here on the king side. Yeah, okay, this is not something that white should try. Queen f3, I think, is makes lots of sense. Yeah, now we get this endgame as I mentioned before. Here king e2 was also possible, but black will always play d3, of course. In the game, we got to this position, and here, of course, this is the only important point. But of course, for a good player, it's pretty much an automatic move. Black must play d3 here, obviously. You cannot allow white to go to d3. At least in my book. I mean, Topalov took 3 minutes to check things, but you must do that move simply. If you do, if you play, what else? What else even? I don't know. Bishop here or something. That's a stupid. Hangs g5. Let's say a nothing move, and then I'm going here. And now the problem is simply that I'm going to make progress, and at the end d4 will be a weakness. Simple as that. The idea is if you just stay put here as black and you don't have anything active anyway, just to show the idea, then at the end there will be f4.
Check.
Yeah, somewhere. So and now I'm trying to attack d4, and I can attack it 3 times with the rook, the bishop, and with the king. That's the point. And black will not be able to defend that. So this is why you absolutely must play d3. There is really no way around it. And this is, oops, what Topalov did. Played this check and put the bishop to d4. Maybe what I believe is actually he pretty much instantly decided to play d3, but probably calculated a few moves beforehand. Okay, rook g4 and f6. We now see that
check.
This f4 business is also happening, just like I showed in the line before. But the difference is, of course, that this pawn is advanced and cannot be attacked in any way by white's king. Yeah, and after
check
these moves, they settle for a draw. There is really nothing to do here for both sides. Black cannot really play for a win, as the d3 pawn will get vulnerable too easily, which means, I mean, you always have to keep the rook there, and white absolutely cannot do anything as well, as he always needs to guard the d pawn. So draw is a very fair and logical outcome here. Yeah, how to evaluate this draw? Certainly a bit disappointing for Aronian. Not that Topalov is an easy guy to beat, but yeah, you only have 5 chances left, and Aronian needs to win games to even have a chance to catch up. And well, he didn't come anywhere near a win in this game. It simply was very solid, this position that Topalov had out of the opening, despite Avruk's assessment of white being slightly better. I certainly believe that it should be possible to conserve some sort of slight advantage. But okay, I couldn't put in the time to really figure that out. Aronian also couldn't do it over the board, as we have witnessed. Okay, this means that Aronian still has slight chances to catch Anand, but it certainly needs a loss by Vichy. I mean, one chance certainly is in the game next round when Anand has black against Kramnik, and Aronian needs to win. I don't know against whom he's playing, but he needs to win. There's no way around it. I think this clear. Wins are necessary. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the coverage for this game. Thanks for watching.